Hey everybody, hey y'all. So we are back. Shimmy, shimmy. Today I actually have the wonderful Tori Lens. If you did not know, our In Many Forms keynote speakers are a series that is a part of our workshops and our webinars. Make sure you tune in, make sure you hop on. I'll let you guys know at the end, or I'll drop it in the description. Where you can find the link, so that way you can actually be a part of all of it at once. But neither here nor there. I want to go ahead and introduce y'all, because by now you should know who I am. I'm gonna let y'all actually find out who Tori is, her different platforms, and where she is.
Okay, so hi, my name is Tori. I like to say a creative butterfly. I have a lot of my fingers in a lot of pies, but I'm mainly known for Tori Lens, my photography and videography company. I also have another company, another brand called Her Cuts, which is about supporting and inspiring Black women with short and shaved hair worldwide. And yeah, I'm a creative as well. I've got like a personal page where I do like paintings and customizing and all sorts of creative stuff. So pretty much a creative, but yeah, that's me in a nutshell, really.
Yeah. You try to be so humble about it, but like at the end of the day, if Tori really wanted to boast, okay, Tori could boast. She could just drop bows on a few of them.
I don't even think, I feel like there's so much more that I want to do. And I think people probably say that a lot. Like, there's so much more I want to do. Like, you see, they're like, oh my God, but you're doing great. And I'm like, I feel like, yeah, I've done great. I'm doing a lot of great things, a lot of things I enjoy. But there's so much more that I want to do. So I'm just here doing what I do, doing my thing.
You're here being amazing, doing that amazing thing, okay? And the crazy part about it is, as we had just discussed, this is full circle really for me, because my friend V Boheme, who is a singer and yogi and whatever,
Dress and everything. She's amazing.
She actually had went overseas for a while, and she met Tori, and they ended up having a conversation. And she ended up telling me, "Hey, Precious, you should meet Tori." And I, because I'm bald-headed, was already following Her Cuts UK, and then actually found Tori's page. So I had already been following Tori. So it was like,
oh. Yes. It was meant to be, man.
Yeah, and we love to see it.
Yeah.
Love to see it. And you know, the thing about it, because by now y'all have already seen the last episode we had, the thing about it is that Her Cuts is the UK version. Well, it is its own thing. What's really popular about it, what's really big about it, is all of the color. Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you.
On there with the color.
I'm telling you.
You shoot a lot of that yourself, don't you?
No, so like with Her Cuts, they like the Her Cuts branded stuff, all the Her Cuts branded stuff is shot by me. Yeah, like all of it. Yeah, so like the photo shoots, the videos, all the Her Cuts branded stuff. That's all me, baby. Yeah, that's all me.
Like, you made whole commercials, like, fam. I was like, okay, I want to be in this commercial. Color to dye my hair.
Do you know how many people say to me, "Oh my God, if you do it again, can I be yellow? Can I be purple?" I was like, I thought it was gonna be a one-time thing, but yeah, I'm cool. We can do it again. Like, yeah, I want to be green. I was like, okay.
Give me a really good. I don't know what color would suffice for my head. I don't even know. Has always been my thing, but like now I'm, as a friend of mine would say, I have the down deposit down on 30. So I don't know what would be my color now.
You don't know what your color would be now?
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like to be fair, I feel like any color would suit you, but I feel like a purple would be nice. I think that would be good.
About a good lavender, like actually like a little bit brighter than my shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, that might, but how long would I wear it now? That's to be. I'd probably feel the same way you feel about your nails right now.
I'm very much. You know what? Yeah, I rock colors. Literally, my hair is like this. For those that don't know, or those that don't know me, I haven't had braids for like 5 years.
Listen.
My hair's been cut for 5 years. My haircut anniversary is coming up. Literally, my hair's been short for 5 years. I was like, I want to switch it up. Yesterday, I was saying to my friend on my Instagram, I was saying, I'm over this. I'm over it. I'm over it. It's been 6 days. I'm over it. But I'm gonna keep it because it took me ages to do. But I'm over it. But honestly, colors every other week. I had different color hair. I had literally every week it changes. So do you, man? You can be lavender one week, you can be blonde the next week. Do what you want.
That's really a part of your brand, and I don't even know how. Like, I'm just like, y'all really be out here every 2 weeks with the bleach and the new color and the bleach and the new color. And I'm like, ain't nobody hair falling out? Like, I know we bald headed, but like, you still got hair to dye? How?
Oh my days. Do you know what? There's definitely a technique to it. I would say it's definitely like, don't use permanent color. Use semi-permanent because it washes out. So you can wash it back to your blonde. People always forget that. Like, you don't have to bleach it every single time. There's that. So people have like a misconception of like what it would be. But I would definitely say like, don't bleach your hair lightly. Like, don't do it. Don't go into it thinking, because people are like, oh, your hair's like, people say to me like, oh, Tori, like, you have natural hair. And I'm like, it's not, because it's bleached. So it's not actually my natural hair. So I'll never be like, oh, I'm natural. Like, I'm not a natural short haired woman because my hair is bleached. Do you know what I mean? And bleaching is a chemical, which means it's going to chemically change the pattern of your hair, like the curl pattern of your hair. Yeah. So I always say, when people message and they're like, oh, and I'm like, if you don't know and you're not sure, don't do it. Like, don't do it. Like, if you don't know what it is, if you don't ever, and don't try and do it yourself, go to a professional, not like, go to someone who knows what they're doing, that understands, or does a strand test. If they're not offering you a strand test, don't go there. Don't even try. So I wouldn't say lightly, but once you do bleach and you're kind of cool with it, then just do semi-permanent because it washes out. You can cover it with another color. It's fine.
I just want you to know I'm the people you talking to. Okay? Because I be like, okay, so I gotta go buy hair dye. I gotta, and then to all the women in the world who know how to tone their hair. And
yeah.
Y'all are different. Okay.
Really?
Because y'all got patience, y'all got time, y'all got strength. I be like, I don't want to do this.
Oh my days.
Okay, I got friends right now who are like, you should really dye your hair. Your hair is super, like, my hair is a Negro spiritual.
Right, yeah.
So it's like, me dyeing my hair, I would most likely be the person with the spots everywhere, and I don't want to be that person. So I'm like,
You don't trust yourself to do it. So you wouldn't do it by yourself?
I did it by myself. That's why I know who I am. I know who I am.
Oh, I love that. I love that you know.
I've been bald-headed for an entire decade. I know who I and just like yourself, like I actually, if people go on my Instagram, you will see I literally just had braids. I had a full head of braids, and they lasted for 16 days, and then they got taken out.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep these for 2 weeks, and I'm like, I'm over it. Okay, I'm over it, guys. Bye. It's only because I'm like, I want to get pictures. Like, as you see my backdrop, I've got a pink backdrop. So I want to take pictures, and I haven't had the time to do that yet. But once I do that, I promise you, 4 days later, I'm going to be like, guys, it's out. It's out. I'm going barbers. I've got a pattern in my hair now. It's gone. Yeah.
This is the joy of not having hair, y'all.
It's the freedom of it. I'm telling you, I only grew my hair for like, I think it was 3 or 4 months, like the top bit. Like, the rest of it I shaved, and then I grew just enough for me to do braids. And I was like, because I know I can do my hair myself. I was like, yeah, couple months, I'll do it, see if I like it. If not, I'll just shave it off and go back to how I was before. So, freedom.
That's the thing about all bald-headed women. They be like, I don't like it. Clippers. Boop. All right, back to being bald.
Literally. I love it.
That's the thing too. It wasn't until this past year where I like started taking the clippers to my head myself.
Really?
I've never. Oh God, no.
So wait, did you go barbers then, or where was you going? Who was doing it?
Same barber for The last decade, I've had the same barber.
Wow.
For the last 8 years, I've had the same barber.
Yeah.
We're breaking up now because the same reason why men break up with barbers is the same reason why I'm breaking up with my barber. He's starting to push back my line. Okay. So I was like, so now I have a new barber, which is also a friend of mine. So it's like, respect my line.
Yeah.
It can be whatever.
Why do barbers do that? I don't even understand it. You can see where my hairline is. Why are you taking it? I don't get it.
But though I was watching, I'm sorry, y'all, but I was actually watching a clip, and this barber was like, barbers intentionally go past your natural line so that way when it starts to grow back, you naturally think that you need a new haircut, when really it's just the fact that they cut your hair past your natural line, so then now you feel like you need a haircut.
That's mad.
It's kind of like the restaurant trick of putting ice in someone's drink, because you know if there's ice in it, they'll want more. It's like, oh,
that's so terrible.
It is, actually,
because you're messing with people's hair, like their whole head. You're messing with their whole head. And secondly, we are female. You're messing with a female's whole head. What do you mean?
Okay.
Wow.
Receding does not care if you are man, woman, child, adult. Receding will meet you at the door. And I'm not trying to have those problems. So I just was like, you know what? We're breaking up.
It's a breakup.
He might think it's just Corona, but no, it's over.
Is he gonna see this? Is he gonna see this? Is he ever gonna know?
Right, because it's gonna get pushed around Minnesota. I love you though, but
that is joke. You had a good 8-year run. Not a lot of people can say that. Not a lot of people can say that. So you guys had a good 8-year run. That's nice, solid.
We did, and also too, like my hair right now is normally I get a ball fade. Normally I have a very low, high crown ball fade.
Yeah.
Right. No, we breaking up after COVID has brought me new beginnings.
I love that.
It's brought me new beginnings. Okay, so thank you for joining. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. I still, and we're gonna keep speaking it into existence because I want to do an Art in Many Forms live panel in London.
Yes, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
That will definitely happen, and you will probably be the woman shooting it because I love people. Okay. And so I just really want to ask you, like, how did you even let folks know how long you've been doing it, being self-employed, because you've been in it for a while. Why you even started doing it? And just
so I have been self-employed. I was saying to my friend this morning or earlier today that I think I'm pushing the 8-year mark. It's either the 7 or the 8-year mark of being self-employed. It's funny because I started before 8 years ago. I started way before, but I didn't know that being self-employed was a thing. Like no one I knew was self-employed. No one was talking about it. It was like you go to work and that was it. So I've always been like, I don't know, like a free spirit, if you like, within my family. I was never like traditional, like do this, do that, like academic. So that's not really, I realized at 15, 16, I don't learn how they teach you in school. I don't learn that way. That's not how I learn. I'm a very practical learner. I need to do things. I need to like feel it in order for it to go into my brain. So I knew that when I started college at 16, I did performing arts in college. And I had moved out from my mum's house at that point for other reasons. So I moved in with my godmother, and she's white, like Caucasian. Wasn't loads of rules. So she was just like, do what you want as long as when you come home you lock the door. So I was like, cool. So literally all of my creative pursuits that I was kind of semi-doing when I was at home, it all came out. So from 16, it was like, I was customizing trainers, I was cutting up clothes, I was sewing, all the things I ever wanted to do, I was just doing them all. Like in college, people were like, oh my God, Tori, can you customize my jacket? Can you customize my trainers? Can you, like, all that stuff? I was like, yeah, making change here and there. I didn't know you could be self-employed. Who knew that? So I was just like, oh man, I don't think I want to go uni because I don't think it's for me. Like after college, like in college, like 16 to 18, I was like, oh man, after 6 months, like I don't enjoy this. I want to leave.
Wait. Tori, can you, because you, I'm so happy you are saying this. Can you just briefly also remind people that in UK, okay, school is much different.
Right. So for us, we have secondary school. You leave secondary school at 16 and you go to college 16 to 18. Then you go to university 18 to however long, depending on your degree. So when I say college, I'm talking, I don't know what you guys call it in the US, but college is like 16 to 18, depending on what you're trying to do. And then university is from 18 up. So I don't know what the equivalent that is in the US, but
that's what it goes K through 12. Okay, you need to go through elementary, middle school, high school, and then it is up to you if you want to go to college.
So wait, at what age do you go to college in the US?
I mean, most people, because I mean, there are those gifted students, but most people go to college at 18.
Okay, so your college is our university.
Pretty much.
So your high school is our college. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. But like, we're not in college. We're still in high school.
Yeah, but you're in high school, but it's, we call it college. That's so crazy. So you're when we go university. So wait, what's your university then? I'm so confused.
We ain't got no university technically. I mean, because it's like, from you do elementary. Well, you do pre-K, which now you actually have to pay for pre-K, which is crazy. But you do pre-K, you do elementary, and elementary is I think it's K through 5. Yeah, it's K through 5.
What is K through 5? What are you even saying? You're saying letters and numbers. I don't know what that means.
First grade, second grade, third grade.
Primary school. Okay, primary school. Okay, yeah. Cool.
And then 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade is middle school. And then 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade is high school. And then after that, it's completely up to you if you want to keep pursuing college. And because like with college, it's completely up to you if you want to do it or not. After high school, after most people get their diploma, they be like, fuck it, I don't want to do this.
So that's the same with us. So for us, we have primary school, then we have secondary school, but our secondary school is year 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's our secondary school. And then you go to college, which will be like 16 to 18, whatever, which I'm assuming is your high school. And then if you want to go to college for you guys, it's an option. Same for us. If you want to go to university, it's an option. I get it. Okay. So guys, when I'm talking about college, I'm talking about, I guess, the equivalent of your high school?
Yeah.
No? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So when I was 16, I think after going to college, I knew that 6 months in, I was like, I know what I'm like. This is going to be a struggle for me this whole 2 years. It's going to be a struggle. So when everyone's talking about uni and going uni, I was like, yeah, it's not for me. I already know it's not for me. I'm not going to survive there. And you have to get a loan and you have to pay it back. And I was like, yeah. I already know this is not for me. So when I turned 18, obviously I finished. I did advanced performing arts in college because I was a singer, actress, all that kind of stuff. Again, creative. So I did all that, which I loved, absolutely loved it. And then I've discovered like street dance. So I was in a street dance group with my friends. I was like, I just want to choreograph. I want to choreograph. That's all I want to do. I love it. Great. So then I was with a company or like a art school, if you like, over here in London. And it was basically, I've been there since I was 16. No, been there since I was 13. So you do it like after school, on the weekends, stuff like that. And then they had an apprentice position open. So I would have been their first apprentice when I did it. So they're like, the apprenticeship is a couple of years. You get a teaching, not a degree, but like a teaching qualification so you can teach officially. I was like, yeah, cool, I can do that. And I can teach while I'm doing it. I can work and get money. Yeah. So I did that. And I was a choreographer. and I was a qualified dance and drama tutor for like 3, 4, 5 years. So I was teaching, I was writing scripts, I was doing acting, all that stuff, which was amazing. Absolutely loved it. But within that time, I was still customizing, I was still making stuff, I was still choreograph, I was still doing all the things that I wanted to do. And I think because I was living with my godmother, who, again, there wasn't a lot of rules, I could just do what I wanted. So I think I was blessed to be able to explore, like, creatively, like literally like dip and dive into different things. But again, who knew about self-employed? Who knew that you could actually do this as a living? Who knew that? I just wanted to be a choreographer. So I was like, that's all I want to do. So that happened. I discovered roller skating within the midst of all of this. And I was like, yes, skating on, dancing on skates, jump skating. Yeah, this is meshing my two worlds together. Yeah. So I did that. And then I left where I was working with the apprenticeship. I left there at 23 or 24, I want to say. I wanted to go off and spread my wings. But then obviously I had bills. So I was, I had my own place at that point, this place I'm at now. And I was like, I got bills. So I was like trying to customize and do things. I could really push it out just literally via Facebook and Instagram and word of mouth. But it wasn't enough, you know what I mean? So then my sister was like, oh, you should get a job. I was like, retail? Nah. I'm not going to survive. I know I'm going to be like, I can't take it. But I did. I got a retail job in O2, the phone shop, O2. And I loved it. It was great. I was great at selling, even though I hated selling. I was good at selling, hit my targets. It was wonderful. And then a technical position came up to be like a guru. They called it guru, but it's basically technical support. And I love that. I love talking to people. I love technology. I'm a bit techie. So I love that stuff. Took that position. And then basically I'd accumulated a lot of holiday off. And they were like, if you don't take it, you're gonna lose it. So I was like, okay, cool. It was 3 weeks. I'd like 3.5 weeks I'd like accumulated. I was like, cool, I can take it off in one go. So it was my birthday, June 2013, I believe it was. And I was like, I'm going to take it off. And every single day I'm going to be creative. Remember, I was being paid for this. I was like, amazing. So, and it was also the summer that my friends who are teachers and stuff, they all had that summer off as well. So it was like the best. Summer 2013 was the best. I was creating every day. I'd sewed my first full outfit at that point. I wore it to carnival. I was living my best life. I was like, okay. 7 days in, I was like, I'm not going back to work. What is my life? Why am I going back there? This is what I should be doing. Like, this is where it's all here. And you know what? Yeah, working in the O2 shop, I'd forgotten that, because you're like, money comes in and promotions. You're like, oh, you kind of get like caught up in it. You're like, oh, the whole reason I took that job was to pay my bills. That was all. That was the only reason. And I got caught up, promotion. And I'm like, yeah, fine. Do you know what I mean? And it was, don't get me wrong, I loved it. I loved working there. But it wasn't for me. Like, it wasn't like.
Wait, pause. So here you are on PTO, on paid time off, yeah. And you decide, oh shit, wait a minute, this is wonderful. Forgetting that this is PTO.
Right.
I'm gonna quit.
But you know what? Yeah, I tell you one thing about me is, yes, I know the money makes the world go round, and unless you need things here and there, but I'm not money motivated. Like, money doesn't motivate me. Like, I'm motivated by the things I want to do. Yes, getting paid to do these things and getting paid to do what I do is amazing and it makes sense, but I'm not money motivated. So even though, yeah, I was getting paid this time off, even in my brain, I was like, even if I wasn't getting paid for this, I would still love what I'm doing. I'm still here. Exactly. So I was like, yeah. I was starting to figure out, okay, when's my last paycheck? I started to figure out all these things. Can I make it stretch? Can I do this? Can I do things in the meantime? And then, like, literally the day that I had to go back, because I was like, I want to go back for like to the end of the month, and then end of July, and then I'll leave. Mm-hmm. I kid you not, yeah. The day I had to go back, I was putting on my uniform in my mirror. I started crying so hard, like, you know the cry where you can't talk, like, oh my, like, literally, I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, I called my boss, I couldn't talk to him. I was like, he's like, call me back. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, what happened? I literally the thought of going back there after everything that I'd done, these 3 weeks of like being creative, like obviously being paid for some of the stuff that I'd done, like just being free, I was like, I cannot go back there. I love it, but I can't, this is not, what the heck? So I literally didn't go back. I handed in my resignation. I got a month, because of the petition I was in, I got a month's pay extra, even though, because they give you 30 days, which was amazing. I didn't even know you get that. So I had that, and my boss was like, if you want to come back in the 30 days, you still got 30 days to change your mind. And I was like, I'm not going to change my mind. So I had to go in to sign it, like to sign the whole, like, you know, my resignation. And my boss was like, I respect you so much because you've got, basically I was in line to get a promotion to run a store, to run an O2 store. And he was like, not a lot of people would walk away from that. I was like, again, I'm not money motivated. It would have been great, would have been wonderful, but I know my soul would have been dying. I would have been like, what am I doing? Yeah, so I didn't take it. And then so after the July happened, the 1st of August 2013, I registered to be self-employed, only because someone had happened to mention it to me a couple of months before. I was like, self-employed? What's that? Like, can you register that? Like, what? So I was doing my research. I was like, this is what I should be doing. This is who I should be. Oh my God. And I just think if I never taken that time off, I probably wouldn't have had that conversation with that person. Do you know what I mean? All these things wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have known all these things about myself. I wouldn't have had that time to do it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I became self-employed 2013, the 1st of August. And here we are, 2020. I'm still here, man. I'm still doing what I do.
I'm so proud of you. Are you a Gemini?
I am a Gemini.
Okay, there we go. I'm like, all the Geminis I know, y'all are free spirits. Y'all be like, okay, let's jump.
That is literally my life.
Every Gemini I know. And then, but y'all are some really, here's what I can say about every Gemini that I know personally. They are some super smart people, like extremely smart people. When it comes to life though, oh my gosh, y'all be like, this is the way life works. And be like, that is not the way life works. Y'all be in your own world. It's you and you.
That is so true. I can literally be in my own bubble. Like I was saying to my friends, like, you know, like obviously the whole Corona thing happened. Like before lockdown, like 2-3 days before lockdown, do you think I knew what's going on? My friend called me and she's like, oh yeah, because you know lockdown. I was like, lockdown? What? And she's like, because I don't have a TV in my house. I don't listen to news. All that stuff is super depressing. I know what I need to know, right? So I knew things and I knew what was happening, but I was like, I'm not trying to focus on it. Like, it's so like in your face. So when she called me out, she's like, yeah, they're going to announce it like tomorrow. I was like, wait, is this real? Is this really real? I was like, where have I been? I literally was in my own world. It's almost like I got catapulted back to like reality. I was like, oh, this is real? Okay, it's not a rumor. Okay. Yeah, that's literally my life. It's crazy. I wouldn't have it any other way though. I feel like it allows me to be who I am creatively, like to have that kind of like, I pop out every now and again and I'm like, hey, but then I'm like back in my own world. It's like, it's great.
So with that then, because like, I think all creatives, most of all of the creatives I even know, they don't have TVs. Like I don't have a TV. For what? I use the Shade Room. I don't follow them, but I use the Shade Room as my news center. I don't, unless it's something dire. I mean, I live here in Minneapolis where a lot of stuff has kicked off because, you know, where George Floyd was murdered. So it's like, unless, and I live directly on the street that when it was going down the street, tearing things up, on the street. So it's like, I don't really need the news, right? But with all of that being said, right, what made you actually go and create Her Cuts and made you decide to explore more creativity? Because I want to come back to you being a photographer and filmmaker. But what made you say, ooh, I really want to create Her Cuts, and even your story to how you became a bald-headed girl?
Yeah. So I created, okay, so let's start with why I cut my hair off. So I've been cutting my hair, I would say at least 2 or 3 times in my life before I did it in 2013 or 2014, I think it was. And I've never really liked the feeling of like hair. Like I've never really liked that feeling. And I only realized like maybe like a week or 2 weeks before I cut my hair, like this time, the most recent time, that I only had long hair because society, the world, culture tells you that's what's beautiful. Like, I only deeped it. I watched something that Skepta, the artist Skepta, he had an interview, and I was basically a marshal, like a roller skate marshal at his event, and he had an interview after that, and I watched the interview like when they posted it, because we didn't get to watch it like live. So I watched the interview, and he was basically saying how, like, after he kind of left the whole, like, the scene and want to be cool and having chains and having, when he kind of like left that for whatever reason, he kind of found himself. He's like, I don't need this. I don't need to be wearing the latest. You know what I mean? I'm still going to be who I am. And it really spoke to me, because I was like, bro, why am I out here trying to have long hair, relaxed hair, weave? And I don't even like it. But everyone's like, you look so nice. You look like, you kind of like, I'm like, okay, but I hate it. Like, secretly, I hate it. Do you know what I mean? So I want to be able to just like take it off and be free. So then, yeah, so when I cut it the next time, I was like, okay, first I'm going to go natural, see if I like it, then I'm going to cut it. And I was like, what am I waiting for? Why am I wait to go natural? What am I waiting for? Just cut it off. So I cut it off. I just literally woke up, literally after watching the interview, I messaged my barber, who wasn't my barber at the time, but I knew he was my friend's barber. So I messaged him, I was like, hey, Marvin, I want to cut my hair. He's like, what? Yeah, he's like, what? Yeah, I want to cut it off. It's like, do you know what you're doing? I said, I fully do. Are you free tomorrow? He's like, I'm not free tomorrow, I'm free the next day. I was like, cool, book me in. He's like, what? I was like, book me in, let's do it. He's like, I said, I know what I want it really, really low. He's like, Tori, I'm not going to do it low in case you change your mind. And I was like, okay, give me a number 2. Went home the same day. I called him, I was like, bruv, you need to cut my hair shorter, it's too long. So that's literally, I was like, what is this? It's too long. So literally, I cut my hair. But I'd cut it previously when I was 15 in school, in secondary school, because I was living with my aunt at the time, and she had short hair, and we looked very similar. So I was like, it's just our skin shade that makes us different. She's a bit darker than me. So seeing her, I was like, I can rock short hair because she looks beautiful. So I know I'm going to look beautiful because we look the same. So we cut it off. But at the time, my mum didn't know. I didn't ask my mum. I said, if you ask mum, she's going to say no. So we need to do it. And then after, it's just going to be there. So we did it.
The ask for forgiveness.
Right. So we did it. And my mum was like, what? She's like, trying to be nice, bless her. But, traditionally Nigerian, she didn't really understand it. She didn't really get it. And I went to all-girls school. They didn't even get it either. They were like, don't like it kind of thing. So it kind of swayed me a little bit, being like 14, 15, and you kind of bit like, I wasn't sure if I liked it. Even though when I cut it, I loved it. And you go to school and everyone's telling you different things. You're like, oh, maybe I don't like it. So I had it short for literally 3 or 4 months, and I started to grow it back after that, because I was like, no, it's not nice. Even though in my brain, I was like, it looks good. So I grew it back. And then from that point to now, till 2014, I shaved it off again. And I don't think I'll ever grow my hair again, fully. I don't know, but I don't think I'll ever grow it again. It's just not my thing. And even now, I've been bald for 4 or 5 years. And even now, people say to me, I don't remember what you were like with long hair. Even though they've known me longer with long hair, they're like, I forgot. So even when I had this, people were like, oh, Tori, it's a bit trippy. You've got braids, it's a bit weird. And I'm like, even me, I was like, oh, it's a bit weird. I look a bit strange, do you know? But yeah, that's basically why I cut my hair. And then a lot of people would stop me, because I used to have patterns in my hair. I used to get patterns in my hair. I still do that now. Obviously Rona, but I have patterns in my hair usually. I'm usually on point. And people would stop me and ask me, especially guys, who cuts your hair? Who's your barber? And I'm like, okay. So women would ask me, and then they would be like, oh, you go to, it's like a proper barbershop. And they're like, I'm not gonna go. I'm like, what? They're like, I'm like, no, trust me. They're like, nah, I don't, barbershop experience isn't great for me. And I kept hearing it, and I kept hearing it, and I kept hearing people's experiences. And my friends were having these negative experiences in the barbershops or with barbers, and just inappropriate things that would happen in the barbershop, walking in and then everyone would stare at you and you're like, no one's saying hello, no one's giving you, do you know what I mean? Or you'd be in a chair and then someone's telling you, as a woman, got men saying, as a woman, you shouldn't cut it, blah, blah, all of that stuff. And you're like, bro, whatever. Or someone saying, someone asked me one day, and I'll never forget it. He came in, Jamaican guy, a little bit older, maybe like, not even really, really old, younger than 50, so like 40 maybe. And he said, "Oh, who hurt you?" I said, "Sorry? Like, what?" So, and my barber's really cool. All the barbers in my shop are really cool. Like, they really like, we have open conversations. I love it. And yeah, he was like, "Who hurt you?" I was like, "I don't understand the question. I don't understand." Like, "That's why you're cutting your hair in it, because of a guy." Sorry? I was like, "No, I cut my hair because I like short hair." That's literally it. And then like, barbers joined in and people joined in, and I was like, it's really not that. Do you really think that the world revolves around men? Do you really think it's really that deep? Like, literally, he was like, "Oh, you know, women usually cut off their hair because of a breakup," or because, I was like, wow, this is a narrative that we're pushing. Okay, cool. I need to change that then. And then my friend who has been cutting her hair as long as I have, because I've been cutting the back of my hair, like the back, when I had long hair since I was like 17, like easy. And we used to go to the same barbers, and she still goes to that barber, or she was still going to that barber at that time. And she basically said that he used to like move to her, like really like want to be like with her, whatever. She'd always kind of like shut it down. Like, we're very sly, but she shut it down. And then she obviously got a partner, she got pregnant. And then when she went to get her hair cut from him when she was pregnant, she was like, he was acting so off. I was like, "Nah, it can't be because you're pregnant, like because you're with someone else." And she was like, "I don't know." But after that, every time I tried to call him to get an appointment, he wouldn't book with her. He wouldn't give her an appointment. I was like, what? Like, it was literally, I was like, that is nuts. So after that, I was like, I need to create something that is for women, something where they can go and they can be like appreciated and not feel like they're going to be judged or anything like that. That needs to happen. And I just thought it was in London, because I know the US, especially in terms of like barbershops, and the US are far ahead of us in terms of everything. I just think they're way ahead of us in terms of, I swear. Yeah.
Right now, no.
No, true. Ooh, there's so many things that, like, I'll give you an example, right? Yeah. So in the barbering world, yeah, I feel like maybe I'm biased because I've got the haircuts page, but there are a lot of barbers that are like, let's just limit a basic example, patterns, yeah? Patterns was not popping here 5 years ago for like anyone in the barbershop. It wasn't popping. When I was getting patterns, people saying to me, "Oh, Tori, you look like you're in school." Like, remember in school, I said, "Nah, they're sick." Like, it was not popping, yeah? In the US, it was popping, yeah? Going to the barbershop to get your hair colored, bleached. We don't do that over here. I don't know any barbershop, I swear to God, maybe one or two I can possibly think of, like in London, that does that. That a guy owns in the barbershop that you can get your hair cut. No.
Well, here's the thing, right?
Go.
And I even love the fact of why you created haircuts, because it's to inspire and make women feel comfortable about their haircuts. Because I see a lot of beauty on that page, right? But here's the thing about the US. In the US, it's like, when I was always cutting my hair, Like, my hair went from here to here to here to here to cut it all back here to, oh, take all of this.
Yeah.
First time I went to go get my hair cut, no bullshit, I won't say the name of the barbershop. When I called to book, they was like, "Oh, only one person here." Mind you, it's a whole barbershop, and half of it is a salon. And there was like, only one person here cuts women hair, because no other person agrees with that. I was like, okay, sure. So I had actually dyed my hair a burgundy, and then I went to go get my hair cut. I told him how I wanted my hair cut. He cut my hair how he wanted to, because he was like, "You know, you're a girl, you're gonna want it back." And I was like, "Sir." So even for me, my trials and tribulations of like, fam, I just want my hair cut. And the thing about it is that, like, my mother on her side, my mom is one of the oldest of 11 children, right? So my mom, my aunties, and my mother's mother all have been bald-headed. Like, all have walked around with a blonde fade and a nose ring and a hoop earring. All of them have.
That's so sick.
This isn't new to me.
Normal for you, yeah.
Like, somebody stop playing with me and cut my hair. What is becoming more trendy, what may look like it's becoming more and being more trendy in the US, but it is not, is like barbers coloring and cutting women's hair.
Right.
It's not like here in Minnesota. I'm sure there's a barbershop that does it, but I couldn't tell you where it is.
Right.
Because for a lot of barbers, what it is they're starting to realize that one, bald-headed women right now is a trend. It's a big trend. And two, who spends more money when it comes to getting their hair did?
That is my point. That is my whole point.
Like,
I keep saying,
over here, to get your hair bleached and colored, this is another reason why I ain't trying to run up in nobody's shop, okay? But just to get your hair colored and bleached, or to be bleached and colored and maybe toned, is like $90 off the bat. And then to get your hair cut, depending on where you're going, is like $130.
Okay. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And what you're doing like every 2 to 3 weeks. Wow.
And you got to understand a lot of women, even who I know here, who do that, who don't want to do it themselves, and they're doing the toning and everything. They're probably going once a month. A lot of those women are the women who they kind of don't care because they just got done paying for bundles and lace fronts.
Right. Yeah.
Range from like $350 to $700.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, $130. Sure.
That's nothing. Yeah.
But when you've been bald-headed like this for a decade and the most I've paid is $30, you hit me with $130.
You're like, huh? No. That's crazy. I get it though. Like, I guess because of the page, I'm exposed to more people that would do that. Do you know what I mean? That do it. That I see like in the US, like Atlanta and stuff like that, where like they're doing it. But I think like even the small amount that I'm doing it in the US, I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head who does that I can't speak for the UK, but London, I couldn't tell you who does that. And even when I say to my barber, like, bro, do you understand how much of a clientele like women are? Like, do you understand that you do not, same thing you said, like, we spend more money, we care about, you know what I mean? We're going to come every 2 weeks on point to make sure we look, do you know what I mean? We're going to do that. You're going to have that repeat business. Do you know what I mean? And more time than most, women know what they want. It's not like they're being, oh, I don't know. Like, they're like, I want it to look like, here's a picture. Can I have, screenshots, this, like, they know. But the same experience that you have, I found out, well, obviously when creating haircuts, that a lot of women in the US have the same experience. I was like, raw, like, yeah, barbers say they don't cut women's hair. We don't do this. We don't agree with it. Or I'm not cutting your hair like that because that's how boys cut their hair. I was like, whoa. I thought it was just hair, but like literally, which is why I would say the majority of the followers and people on the Haircuts UK page, Haircuts UK, that's why it was UK. I went to do UK originally. After 3 months, I was like, oh my God, it's actually the world. Like literally, a majority of them are from the US. And I feel like there's more of a celebratory, I don't know if that's the right word, like a celebrate culture out there with have women have short hair. I feel like it's more celebrated, where here it's kind of just like you spot one person, like you kind of have a nod and then that's it. Whereas I'm like, we need to it needs to be something that happens over here, because we don't have that culture, like that celebrate that you guys have in the US. Like, we don't have that here. It's just about picking up. It's just about getting here. And I've been doing the Haircuts page for like almost 3 years now. Like, and it's only just picking up here in the UK. And so me, like, having events and having, doing productions and doing videos, all that kind of stuff, like, it's probably the first time that a lot of these women have ever done it and ever been like, wow, I'm being celebrated for like who I am. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, it needs to happen because there's so much negative, and again, I didn't realize, but there's so much negative experiences that women have in the barbershop, and not just young women, but older women. Like my friend's mum, she sees me all the time and she's like, oh, I wish I could go to a barber. And I said, you can go to my barber. Like, he's really cool. I can't talk for anyone else, but my barber, he's really, really good. And then for the first time, I'm so proud of her. The first time 2 months ago, my barber did a home visit to her. And I was like, first time, and she's like 50 something, 60 something. She's been cutting her hair, she's like 20, and she's never had it professionally cut, like professionally done. And I was like, well done. She's like, no, I was inspired by you. I was like, oh, thank you. But like, these women are like 50, 60, I've never had a negative experience in the barbershop. And I'm like, It shouldn't be that way, man. Like, it's a thing. Whether it's a trend or not, there's going to be a group of women that still do it, that have been doing it before the trend, that are going to do it after it dies out. And you need to have, don't need to, but I feel like there needs to be a home for them, people that they can go to and trust and know, okay, like, they cut women's hair, they'll do what I want. Do you know what I mean? I've had that whole negative experience where I went to the barber in my barber shop and he gave me this bowl cut thing. No. I don't do that. I do like, kind of like a boy's shape up, but not super sharp, but just like neat. Mm-hmm. Why did you give me that? Oh, but you're a girl. No. I told you 3 times before we started. 3 times I told you that is not, why are you giving me this bolting? And then he said, I can fix it. And then my hairline went back. And then he did it and it was bent. So it was crooked. Video shoot. I had a video shoot. 3 people in the video shoot. So there's 3 of us, just me and 2 other people. I can't hide behind no one. I literally cried when I got home. I called my barber on video call and I cried. I don't cry, you know. I cried. I was like, look what he did. And I couldn't have it colored, so it was all black. I was like, look, I literally was like, this guy messed up my head. And because he took it so far back, it was like a month or 2 months before all my hair grew back properly. I could get a proper like shape up. I was so angry. So I'm like, you lot need to, barbers, man. Barbers, if you're out there, fix up, man. Do what you're asked to do. Ask what you're paid to do. Don't be giving no one what they want, what you want. Do what they ask you to do.
Stop trying to tell women that, oh, you're a girl. Let me give you, if I came and I asked you for what I want, that's what I want, sir.
Right.
So do your job.
Right. Literally do your job.
Okay, because you wouldn't argue with a 4-year-old little boy. So don't argue with me.
It's true. It's so true.
Please be.
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like I didn't really realize until like I cut my hair. And because I've had such a positive in my barbershop and I've been cutting my hair, like I had like this section of my hair cut at one point, I had that section. So I've been going there anyway, but I didn't realize how privileged like I was in my experience. And because I'm quite a confident person, no one can't come and tell me. I'll be like, no. I know what I said and I know what you're saying, but give me this. If I don't like it, it's on me. Don't tell me like it's on me because I've asked for it. So I'm very like, I can talk for myself quite a lot. So going into the barber shop and having those experiences where everyone's looking at you and everyone's talking about, you know, you walk in and everyone goes silent and you're like, ugh. It's really like, but I can deal with it. Like I'm strong enough to like push through. But I know not women aren't. They've never been to the barber shop ever in their whole life and they cut off their head, have to go into that environment. Do you know what I mean? It's very like masculine and very like, yeah, like women shouldn't do this and men shouldn't, you shouldn't have short hair and all this stuff. And I'm like, looking at some of them like, bruv, you got dreadlocks in your hair. You've got K-Mos in your hair. What are you talking about? Like, how can you tell me I can't have short hair, but you've got long hair? What the hell are you even saying? So for me, I know I needed to have a platform. It just kept coming up over and over again. Conversation with people I didn't even know. People message me on Instagram. I didn't even know them. And I'd be like, raw, like all these. And I was like, I need to start something. Like, even if I'm not the only one, I couldn't find anything that I knew. And I wanted to have a directory, a list of barbers that women could go to, that black women could go to. Because there's like barbers in the UK, cool. But there's like, you type in barbershop, like a white barber will come up, like not black ones. So I was like, I need to make a place where people can go and just see a list of barbers that cut black women's hair specifically. Do you know what I mean? So I did that, and I don't know where that's been before. I believe that Haircuts is the first one to do it. I believe that we're the first one to do it, but I don't know if it exists anywhere else. But it's literally like a worldwide list, and people submit like barbers, and I'll check them, and I'll see like, okay, are they cutting? Like I'll go on their page, and if you've got no evidence of cutting a woman's hair, I'm not going to put you on the list because I don't know. Especially if you're not in the UK, I can't go and see. So I make sure I proper vet it, and I'm like, I need it to be like a place where you can literally find someone for you near you. And of course, like I haven't got everywhere. There isn't like the whole of the US. It isn't the whole of the UK, and a lot of places in the UK that I can vouch for, because it has to be like, if I won't sit in a chair, I'm not putting it on the list. That's how deep it is. If I look and I'm like, I will never go there, I will never put it on the list. Do you know what I mean? And I want it to be like, yeah, I would sit in your chair. Yeah, I like your cuts. Do you know what I mean? Rather than you're doing some bang doody thing there, some higgly thing there. No. I'm not trying to put you on there, kind of thing. And that's a free list as well. And that's a free list as well. And that's me being me, innit? Like I would never send someone that I don't know. I'd be like, I've never been there, but from their catalogue, and from what people say, it sounds really cool, but that's all I know. But with my barber, I'm like, I've been going to my barber for time. He will give you what you want, and he will ask you every step of the way. So I can vouch for him. I'm like, go hit. If you're in London, go to Marvin. He will give you what you want. He will nice you. You don't feel the blades in your headpiece. Like, you don't feel it. Right? Right?
London.
Marvin. Trust me, like, he does it. And I didn't realize, I thought that all barbers were like that. So when people were talking, I'm like, huh? What? Like, I was like, don't you just do what, don't they just tell, no, they do what they want. I was so shocked. So haircuts, I guess, was kind of like a solution to a problem. Yes. I know it hasn't fully fixed a problem. I know it hasn't. And I want to develop it and move on and do like more things and have like shops and have, you know what I mean, all that stuff, and places where women feel comfortable, especially black women in particular, like to feel comfortable, and encourage more female barbers, more black female barbers, more black UK female barbers. I know like 2 or 3, like, and that's in the whole of the UK that I would sit in their chair. There's others, but 3 that I would sit in their chair, that's only 3 out of the whole of the UK. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I want to be able to encourage that and have people say like, oh, actually, you can do it as a woman. You can, do you know what I mean? All these things. So it was a solution to a problem. It hasn't fully solved it, but I believe we've made it a little bit better. So yeah.
No, definitely. You definitely seen a problem, especially with where you are, and you found a solution for it, which also I think, I'm not sure. I would actually have to look, because like I said, if y'all have seen the last episode, then y'all will know the last person we actually had was Sid, and Sid is the owner of the Baldy Revolution, which is the
amazing. Yes, I follow her. Amazing.
And it's like the difference between the platforms, in my personal opinion, is that I see a lot of color on Haircuts UK. Also, it's UK, and then on the Baldy Revolution, it is a lot of just natural haircuts that are like just waves galore. And
waves galore.
You're just like, wow, right? But you know, the crazy part is, and I think this is really important to mention, as you're talking about entrepreneurship and as you're talking about creativity and being a free spirit, the thing that comes with it, even for myself, is your confidence. And what someone just brought up to me is the authority that you bring to who you are. Like, I think it's very important that we touch on the fact, especially as Black women, about the fact that a lot of times, especially Black women, are like, okay, you know, I want to do my own thing. I want to do this thing. But maybe they don't have the backing of support that they need. So they're scared to do it because they're like, I don't know who's going to mess with it, Or they're just like, you know, I don't know if I should really do this because who's going to respond to it? I feel like you are, and maybe it's just me seeing myself in you, but like, I feel like you are one of those people who's like, nah, fuck that. We gonna try it. We gonna see if it lands. We gonna see if it sticks.
This is it.
If you're with it, you're with it. If you're not, you're not. And it just is what it is. Like, that's you? That's how you come to the room?
That is literally me. Because you know what it is, yeah? Because I was that woman that was like, oh, I'm not sure. I was that woman. There's things I wanted to do, like maybe when I was younger, even like mid like 20s or whatever, that I was like, oh, I'm not, like, you know, you're not really sure because you're in the group you're in or whatever. And I've regretted not doing it. Like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't ever, 1, I want to be happy. 2, I want to have something that I've left behind that made the world better. Yeah. And 3, I don't want to have any regrets or things that I didn't do. I'd rather do something and be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And then to think like, oh man, what if I'd done that? What if's are like the bane of my existence? And I'm like, I can't live and think like, what if I didn't do that? Like, I need to try it, like really, really try it. Give it a good solid go. Not like once, maybe like 2, 3 times, like a good solid try. If it doesn't work, then cool. I might even come back to it years later when, you know, the world is different, people are different. I might come back to it, but I have to try it and know if it worked or not. Like, that's my thing. So even like me, you know, quitting my job and going self-employed, like I'm telling my sisters, like, do what you love. And I'm not doing it. I'm like, no, I need to try it to make sure I know that I'm living my truth. I'm living what I'm saying. Like, try it. If it doesn't work, cool. You can go back. There's always going to be a retail job somewhere that you can get. It's always going to be there, but you're never going to have the same experience of the time you had when you had that idea or when you was as young. We're only as young as we are today, right? And I'm not saying like age is a thing, but you have the ideas, you have the passion. Like, I think sometimes sitting on it, you can kind of kill it, where you're like, it's here, and I'm not saying to rush, but I'm just saying it's there, kind of like move with it. So for me, there's nothing worse than me feeling like I regret I didn't do something. Like, it's the biggest thing. So try it, do it. If you don't work, cool, try something else. That's what I feel.
If you see a problem and you have a solution, then actually just don't be scared to run up on it, because you be the person where, like, you know, wherever you are, you might be the person who is made to have
do
that solution. Right. Like, I can't remember if it's a scripture or what it is. And as I've said before, I'm a spiritual person, not a religious person. But I thoroughly believe there is no person born without being a solution to the problem in the world. AKA, everybody is born with a gift, because it is meant for you to do something that is purposeful
100%.
and
That's 100% true.
A problem. Like, Steve Jobs is born clearly to be Steve Jobs. And all these other people, Michelle Obama was born clearly to be Michelle Obama. Like, there's just certain things that you can't be scared to do because you think nobody's gonna rock with it. Like, you have to command your authority and command your confidence. Those two things go hand in hand. And also being able to mix it all together, right? Because with most creatives, like, I paint, I do design work, I do art in many forms. Really, because I'm a kinetic person, anything that I get to throw color on, let's do it. I'm here for it, right? And so, as we talked about in the beginning, you did these, I want to call them commercials.
I call them kind of like campaigns, but they look like commercials. They do.
Yeah, they look like some really bomb-ass commercials.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's when I started to find out, because I'm like, I know Tori Lens is not her real name, but it sounds good. It sounds wonderful.
Thanks.
But when I realized you like do you got like a whole filmmaking production, because you just, now correct me where I'm wrong, I just be stalking people's Instagrams, but you just did like a commercial for something.
Yeah, I did an advert for a car company in Birmingham. So not in Birmingham. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was sick. Oh my days. Like,
Tori, how did you get to become a filmmaker? How did that happen?
So it kind of all meshes together a little bit. So when I was having my creative exploratory time, I started sewing, right? So I started making clothes from scratch. And I'm Nigerian, so my having color and having print, all that stuff is in my DNA pretty much. Like, whenever you have parties, you have loud prints and you have the gele, which is the head tie. So that's like almost imprinted in my brain. But I just didn't like the style that they used to make you wear. Like, I'll be like, what's this kind of thing? So I remember being like, I love the print, but I wish I could make it my way, right? And again, living with my mum, I didn't have a lot of the freedom to do that stuff. So when I moved with my grandmother, I was like, I'm gonna get some print. I'm gonna make some stuff my way. I'm gonna put, like, you know what I mean? Like, my own spin on it. And I was making things like every 3-4 days, skirts, scarves, like anything you can think of, shirts. I was like just doing it. And then I needed someone to shoot like my products, like my stuff, like me in my stuff. And everyone I went to just didn't do it the way I saw it in my brain. I was like, yeah, this is cool, but it's not what I asked you to do. So then I was like, okay, let's get a camera and let's figure out how to do this photography thing. So I bought a camera and I did like a short photography course. I didn't complete the course, but I did a short course. Basically, one thing about me as well is I like to learn the basics and then I want to go with the basics. Because I feel like the more you, and this is just for me, I don't know how anyone else is, but I feel like the more you get, more information you get, the teacher or the person or whatever, they teach you the way it should be done. Like, it should be done like this. And I get caught up with like, is this the only way? Is this the right way? Is this like I get caught up in all of that. My brain's like, no. So I was like, yeah, learn the basics. Bye. So I did like stuff online. I was like, wait, I'm not really kind of coming anymore. I kind of know what I need to know. So now I just explored it. I started taking pictures of myself, so like putting the camera on a timer, going back, like posing, and then like doing all that stuff, learning to edit. And then a lot of my friends are like singers and like, you know, musicians, and I'll be like, oh, when I went to the gig, I'll take my camera, take a couple shots. Tori, these are great. And I'm like, obviously I used to dance some performance, so I know how things should look. So like I was doing all of that, and they were like, oh yeah, like come to another gig, like I'll pay you. And I was like, okay, cool, like we got a gig next week, are you gonna come? I was like, it's paid. I was like, okay. So now I started doing that, and I loved it again because I'm like in the whole performing arts world. I love live events. I love capturing like moments. Like I love all that stuff. So I started doing that, and then again, the creative that I am, I liked film stuff, but I wasn't really sure. I was like, can I film? Again, this whole like, can I do it? Is it really me? That kind of error in my brain. I was like, no, because in my brain I see how it would look. But I was a bit like scared to kind of delve into it. I was like, maybe I shouldn't because it's not what I want to do. But really and truly, video is an evolution of the photo. Like, so if you're going through that, it kind of makes sense if you end up filming, because it's a live photo, right? That's basically what it is. So I did a little bit of filming here and there for a few people, and then I stopped because I was like, this isn't for me. I shouldn't be doing this. People know me as a photographer. I shouldn't be, no. And then I was like, what are you saying, Tori? You're going to bed thinking of adverts, writing them down, and they're going nowhere. Nothing's happening with it. And no one's doing it. It's not like no one's doing your idea. Like no one's doing it. So why are you not doing it? So then I started editing my photos like to music and stuff. Then I started filming behind the scenes on my photo shoots and then editing that to music. And people were like, what? This is not even the photo. This is just the behind the scenes and you're just doing this. And then people was like, can you do this? Can you hire me? I was like, okay. And it kind of just went kind of into that. And the more I went into it, the more I was like, I'm a director, you know? I'm actually I'm a director. Like, this is actually what I do. And the fact that I've delved in each thing, like photography, like videography, like dance, like, you know, like drama, all that. Because I've delved in that. I feel like there's an overview understanding of certain things. And I did like theater here and there. So there's an overview understanding of how things work and how things function, and also how I want things to look. And I can talk to certain people about certain things and I know they would understand it. Like if I'm saying downstage right as an actor, you'd understand that, whereas people were just like, what? Like I can talk their talk. Do you know what I mean? Like I know I understand it. So I just delved really and truly. 2019 is when I really like was like, fuck it. You just do it. If it don't work, it don't work. Like just try it. Whatever you want to do, just do it. And then that's how video got added in. But I was doing photography first, and then video kind of got added in. Like kind of just the evolution was just there. So
yeah. I love it because I don't care what you say. First of all, you just touched on so many things. One of those things is people need to understand when you start doing things on your own and making things on your own. Whether you have a big budget or not, I don't care how much money you have, you will end up touching it yourself.
100.
Whatever it is, even if you have a $2 million budget and you hire the videographer and you hire the photographer and you have the event planner, and I'm kind of giving y'all my testimony, but like, because it's the truth, like you are going to touch every part and use every skill from whatever job you've ever had, or if you've never had a job, everything just has to come to you almost naturally if you don't go and take a course, because I'm the same way. Like, teach me the basics and I'll figure everything else out on my own. But like, it's like get it out of your head right now in this very moment that, oh, okay, well, I'll just be the owner. No. That's not how this works, because even if you have a co-founder, you still will have to touch everything.
If you're passionate about it, if what you're doing you're passionate about, then you'll be in all of it.
You're going, even if you don't want to, like, because it's gonna be something that comes across and you're like you said, I don't like that. That's not what I was thinking. And like, that's like my current thing kind of is like when it comes to videographers, and I'm learning so much, like, oh my gosh, like me and a friend of mine was just talking, I don't know what you shoot with, or even, because you should probably tell me what you shot your commercials with, because like I love touching everything. I've touched everything. And so like can I shoot manually a photo shoot? Yes, I've actually did it for a lot of my people. But like a video, and now I'm learning that like my homeboy, he has a black Canon Ursula.
Okay. Black Magic or no? Not Black Canon.
No, not Black Magic. It's a cinema camera. It's
okay.
The Ursula. All I know is that that's the other thing is like the more depth the camera, the more it is. Because he was like, yeah, this camera is like $6,000, and I was like, you paid $6,000 for a device that don't.
You know what? The next camera I want to get is £4,000, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm like, oh, it's the next one I get. It's like it's £4,000, and I'm like, I need that camera. That's what I want to get. I want to like get the camera.
So now I'm like, I need to, because I'm like, okay, you know what? I want to do my own thing going forward, and I just found out too, which I don't feel too bad about. Is that there's a difference now between a videographer and the video editor. And I was like, oh, that's so like one person doesn't do that anymore. Oh shit, which I'm not mad, because I used to code websites, and when I was coding websites coming up on MySpace, like most of our generation, when you really like started at that age, people wanted you to code and design the website. It wasn't until literally last year where I finally realized, oh shit, I don't have to code anymore. I can just design it and hand it to the developer, and I don't have to look at it. Yeah. All I have to do in the sense of touching it is literally make sure that their development actually is the same as the design.
Yeah.
But like I'm learning with filmmaking, there's so many
elements. Like literally, I was saying the other day that like I direct, but because I filmed and because I've edited and I've been like a DP, which is like, the director of photography, if you like, people call it that. So like I've been all those people. So because I've been all those people, I know what I want. So I'm like, you need to move, and I will physically move my DP. I'll be like, you need to move here, and I'm like, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, this is where I need you to be, kind of thing. Like, so yeah, and even with me as of recent, like I've only literally, when the next project I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna edit it. Whereas before I'll be like, oh, you gotta edit, and I'm like, no, I'm giving it to someone else to edit. I know I want them to look, and I might put my little 2 pence after, but I'm not gonna edit it. And it's like the best thing ever to not edit. Like I love editing, but I don't at the same time. I'm like, it's really long. It's really long.
But does it okay, and maybe this is just because I have a type A personality, but does it also give you a little bit of anxiety because you're
100%. Listen, I listened to the production the other day, and it was the second or the third time that I've had like a proper full team. So like I'm directing, I've obviously done the script, I've done everything, blah blah. And then like I've got someone DP, I've got someone else talking like this and what, and every single time I do it, even though I trust them like fully, I'm still like, in my heart, I'm like, needs to be, you know what I mean? And I'm like, and even if something goes wrong, I'm like, see, I should have done it myself. I should have done it myself. That's literally, but I have to let go. Otherwise, you're not going to have time to do things you want to do. You can't do it all. You literally can't. And there's like that 80-20 rule in it. Like it's 80% good. It's good enough to go out. Like even with the haircut stuff, like I'll say between me and you, but between us, everyone that's watching, like there's bits of that or things that happen with that it wasn't meant to be. Like I kind of finessed it and did what I did and blah, 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 because the person filmed it didn't necessarily get what I wanted or the way I wanted, and that's whatever, neither here or there. But there's things that were missing, basically. And I was like, what am I going to do? This is why I should have, like literally. So even that alone, but the end product is sick. I look at it and I'm like, Tori, well done. Like it's dope, do you know what I mean? So those are lessons for people. Like nothing's going to be perfect, nothing's going to be as you wrote it, as you script it. It's never ever even if you're Beyonce, you've seen her little thing on TikTok, it's never going to go the way you think it's going to go. But you need to be able to be adaptable. You need to trust people along the way. And it's good to be like, to have those little moments where you're like, I'm going to touch this, I'm going to touch that, because then you know yourself, you know what I mean? You know what it is you want to do. So it's important, but it's also important to let go. And I'm at that point now when I'm like, okay, I can give it to an editor, but I'm still like, the whole time I'm like waiting for it to come back, and I'm like, this is amazing. Yeah. Like, but it still makes me feel a bit like, oh, anxious, like waiting. Yeah.
It definitely makes me feel that way, because I'm like, oh, this is why I still don't have, and I like at this point, well, okay, me and God, we're gonna have to work that out. Because I was trying to say, at this point, this is why I still have not gotten a design assistant for designing. But too, it's like I have a niche and I can't do that. So might just need to get an assistant for our mini forums. Whatever comes first, God, you know, whatever, you work that out.
Yeah.
But you know, that's just like the crazy part about it is, you know, you're using all of the skills you have gained in the last 8 years and how it's all constantly working.
Yeah.
And like actually preparing you. But how does it take a toll on you mentally and emotionally in your personal life when you're like I know probably like most of us, you're always on the clock. You're always working. Do you ever have days where you're like, I'm off today?
Yeah. So I was meant to be off in June, my birthday, but that didn't quite happen. And then I was like, I'm going to take July off. And then that didn't happen. And now like, I'm taking August off, and I'm like, it's slowly. And I'm like, nope. The last 2 weeks in August, I do not care. I'm not taking the booking. I'm not doing it. So I have to actually force myself. But one thing I've realized, which is really sad, I feel like maybe it's just where I'm at currently, is I have to be out, like away somewhere for me to feel like I'm off the clock. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm off it, like I'm actually on holiday, like away. Because then I'm still here. Again, like my house is like what my office, I've got, do you know what I mean? Like things, like I'm always around it. So it's almost like you can't switch it off sometimes. So yeah, but like to be honest, I've learned to force myself to do it. Because I know that burnout, that like mental, that it's not cool. And then you're forced to do it. Your body forces you to do it. And it's usually at a time when you're like, oh shit, I need to do stuff now, but I actually physically cannot. So it's best to force yourself when you've actually, you know, accounted for it, put it in your diary, put it in your calendar. So then when things come up, you can. Do you know what I mean? Because there's been at least 2 or 3 times, I would say, in the past 8 years where my body literally was like, nope, sorry, it's out, cut, you need to take 5 days off. Like literally. And I'm like, guys, I'm ill. They're like, what? How? And I'm like, I'm just ill. I don't even know what it is. I'm run down. I'm like, literally, I'm like ill. Stuffy nose. And I'm like, it's not even flipping, no cold. I'm just ill. And I'm like, you're run down. That you need to kind of like stop. So I'm forcing myself to do it at least 3 times a year. I want to do like, you know, quarterly, but at least 3 times a year, I want to like stop and be like, take time off. Even though in my mind, I'm like, oh, but maybe, I should do, and I have to occupy myself with like painting or drawing or customizing some trainers or something that is still creative, but I'm not, you know, on or being paid for it. I'm just doing it because I want to do it. So I've, in the past 2 years, I've literally forced myself to like take time off. And for me, 2 weeks in August, I'm so excited about it, to be fair. Like, I'm so excited. I'm like, guys, peace. I'm not going to be here. My WhatsApp picture literally says, I am not here. That's what it says on my WhatsApp picture. If you need me, email so. If it's business, email. But I'm not here. Expect no or slow replies. That's what my WhatsApp picture says currently. Because I'm off. I'm not trying to be doing everything. And I think, go on.
It's probably easier for you now that you actually have an entire team. Well, whatever the, you know, the current project.
Yeah.
Like, because also too, you are really, you know what, and I give you so many props because you are really putting your faith in other people, and I aspire to get there. I aspire to be like, y'all, I got a whole team. Okay, I love y'all. Y'all got paid. I'm taking 2 weeks off. Okay, and not only am I off for real, but like I'm off.
Yeah.
Don't call me.
Don't call me.
Okay, hit me up September 1st because that's when I'm going to be free.
Right.
If y'all miss the deadline, boop, boop, I'll have a conversation with the client. Like, I aspire to get there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever will.
You know, no, you will. Do you know what it is, yeah? Like, it's not, because like I said, I'm off. I still see emails. I still see things. I'm still, do you know what I mean, there. And like, most of my team is like project based. So even if, like, for example, like the last 2 weeks in August, if something comes through, I'm not even going to take it. I'm not even going to let my team, you said about team, you guys can't do this without me. That's how I'm so mad. I'm like, no. Because it's my brand, it's my thing. I can't just let you run. I'm almost there, but I'm not there. I can't let you do it. I need to know, that I can just be gone. So if that means, even if that means at the moment where I'm like 2 weeks, we're not taking bookings, I will take that L. It's not even an L as far as I'm concerned. It's what I need for myself. Do you know what I mean? So they won't do bookings. Me, can't do bookings. No. Because I can't troubleshoot. But there is, you know what I mean? I'm still seeing emails, I'm still seeing things. I've, got admin and whatever. So it's kind of like I'm off, but I would still be like, from this date to this date, there's no bookings happening. We're just not here. I'm just off. Do you know what I mean? So I aspire to have a team where I can be off and be making money. Like, I'm off, but it's still things, and it's still happening to the quality at which I do it. Like, it's still happening that way. Then yeah, that's me. That's what I aspire. But currently, team is like project based. I can't pay people full time. I don't make full time money. But like project to project, we do that. But literally, like I said, like August, like I'm not taking no bookings. It's not happening. It's not happening. Oh, Tori, it's not happening. And before, people was like, oh, but what if it's a big job? It's not happening because God's saying take time off. There's a reason why He gave me these two. The reason why I blocked that out. So clearly, if this big job that happened comes, it's not for me. Then it's clearly not for me because this is the time I'm taking off. And I think when these things happen, it's a test. Like, how much did you really commit to taking time off for yourself? It's a test, because the time you do it, all these things will come and you're like, oh, I should take it. And then something will go wrong and you're like, oh, damn, because it wasn't for you. So honestly, 2 weeks in August, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about literally not doing anything, like watching full series in like 2 days on Netflix and walking in the park and roller skating with my friends until like 11 p.m. and be like, whatever, man, I don't have work tomorrow. Like, literally, I'm excited about it so much.
That I've never heard any entrepreneur on this platform ever say, oh, y'all, I'm excited to take work off. No, Cammy in the St. Louis episode was just talking about she is just now learning how to be like, okay, if I at least give myself 2 hours out of the day to like not do nothing.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe, and I don't even want to say like it's a US thing, because I think this is universal of like people are just workaholics, and some of us are recovering workaholics.
Yeah.
Trying to just get to the point where I think that's the other part about Corona. I know for me, that was so very like, I didn't want to do this, and now it's here, in the sense of, in December, a friend of mine had just mentioned, because I was last year, what did I do? Last year, I went to 9 cities, did 7 conferences.
Wow.
2 art and mini forums, 1 in LA, 1 in Minneapolis, and still was designing in between projects.
Crazy.
And was planning for, whatever this year, what didn't happen, which is completely fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because better has come. But I remember she said to me, Precious, maybe you need a break. And this was December. And I was like, what? She was like, I know you love money, but like, maybe you should take, and it's what she said. She said, maybe you should take a month off. I said, girl, do you understand? If I don't work, I don't eat. Who is you talking to? She was like, yeah, but like, you could take one project for the month and be done with it in like 2 weeks and be off for the rest of the month. And I was like, that sounds really good, but like, I'm currently in my bag. So, therapy is going up, mental happy, I'm in home. Why would I stop? And she was like, because you're tired. I was like, no, I'm not. But actually, I was.
Yeah.
And so when COVID came, I was like, wow. Wow. Like,
them forceful breaks, like it forced a lot of people to take a break. Like, it was needed, man. For a lot of people, it was needed.
It was, because like, but like, the thing about being a workaholic and being so invested in your business, which is why, like I said, I aspire to get where you are, because when you're so invested, it's kind of like, you want me to take days off, like, what?
From my life. It's my life. I can take days off from my life. Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean? And for me, it's just like, I've been designing since I was 11, and then wow. And then having my first clients at 16. And so now actually being fully vested, and like, I tell people, this is not my freelance. This is, for us, self-employed is a little bit different, or sole proprietorship, whatever. But like, this isn't even all of that. This is my livelihood. Like, if I don't work, I don't eat. That is my mentality. And I heard this quote last year that said, what was the quote? It was, a man only eat what he kills. And I was like, that's me. Like, that's me. And if I ain't killed nothing, I'ma go starve.
Right.
I can't starve. I like food. I like food.
Oh my gosh. But I think, do you know what it is? Yeah, I think I get it. Like, I fully understand it. But I think there comes a time when, like, for me, like, I see people that are like multi-billionaire, whatever, business owners, and I'm like, nah, man, because they can actually take time off and still be in the business and do what they want to do, but they take time off as well. So I'm like, I'm missing something here. Like, I think like 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, I'm missing something here, because I'm working, I'm killing myself, and I'm just here. And I'm like, nah, there's something I'm missing. Like, and there's a whole, like, trying to do everything, trying to be everything. And I think it's great, because you get to, again, you have loads of skills, but there has to come a point where you're like, I have to delegate. I have to let some things, in order for you to grow and get to the point where you can be like, guys, I'm going to Ibiza, or I'm going to whatever, I'm going to the Caribbean for 2 months, and you come back with more money that you've accumulated, you being out there. Like, that needs to be our mentality. And I think a lot of, like, Black people in general are in survival mode, right? And then we inherited that survival mode from our family. So we're still trying to be in survival mode. And I'm like, yo, actually, you're kind of cool. You can actually kind of move, like, so we're forever like, I gotta keep going, because that's what our parents are like. You know what I mean? You got to keep money on the table, to keep food on the table. So we're forever like churning. But it's like, we need to get out of survival mode. Like, we're here now, we've done it. I know a lot of people are still there, but there comes a point where there's like a shift, and you're like, actually, I've got 2 businesses. Do you know what I mean? And it is really hard when it's your baby, for example, or your like passion. But it's like, you won't progress if you're going to suffocate it and yourself at the same time. So that's where I'm at. That's why I can be like, team, I need a team. Cool. Because in my head, I'm like, I can train them to where I want to be. Hence what happens in businesses. You come into a company, they train you. This is how you do this in order for it to start. So I'm like, why can't I do the same? You come into my brand, you come into my company. This is how we do. This is how I function. This is how things work. If you think a way is even better, more effective, I'm open to it. But if not, this is how it works. This is our timeline. This is our quality control. This, all of that. So I'm like, I am a business. I am a brand. I need to treat myself like that. So I'm like, you come into my thing, I hire you. Even if I hire you to do something, this is how I function. This is how we do things here. Do you know what I mean? So that's where my brain's at. So as much as I definitely understand you, and I'm like I said, I'm still like, but I'm like, I have to, because then I can do other things. I can move, I can adapt, I can grow. Like haircuts, I don't think, because I've been a little bit quiet on haircuts because I've been doing so much with like Tori Lens, and I'm like, this is exactly my point. Because I've been so in Tori Lens, I can't be 2 places at once. So I'm like, I need a team to run that, because now I know what I'm doing with that. I can now concentrate on haircuts and be like, I can push this forward. Do you know what I mean? So that, having haircuts and having Tori Lens and even being a creative has made me realize I actually can't be in all the places at once. And there's so many things I want to do, so many things I have inside me that I'm like, I want to come out. I'm like, raw, actually, Tori, you need to delegate. You need to step back. And it's so scary. But I guarantee, I know that like 2 years from now, 3 years from now, I'm going to be like, that was such a good move, like to actually take a step back, because you can still overview, you can still be CEO or whatever, you can still overview things to see how things are going, but you don't have to be in it, like, you know?
You are very right.
Mm.
And the two things that you touched on is one, or you touched on three things. So one of those things definitely though is that most of the time Black folks, even when they make a business, they still come to the business with this survival mindset of like, I have to make this much money to be able to survive in case a world pandemic happened and I can't work for 3 months, right? Which,
Right.
I mean, you are right, because even myself, like, I remember when Corona first started. This is gonna sound so funny and so bad, but like when Corona first started, and I had checked all of my accounts, and I was like, I'm actually fine. And then I had looked and I seen that I had a savings account. Oh, Tori, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was like, and it had money in it. I was like, oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Right. And so there was that. And so I've learned, thanks to Corona, like, and even like with the current events in my life, I'm just like, I'll take 2 days off. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'll respond to people's emails, but am I gonna do any work today, right now? No, I don't feel like it. But my thing is I am an email queen. Like, I'll respond to somebody so quickly. Oh my Lord. But anyway, I'm an email queen. But then the second thing you had talked about, which a lot of people don't even know that they need, is a system in their business.
You do.
To hire or to have other people come in, you need to know how things work and function. You need to know, here's the standards, here's the guidelines, here's how I typically do a timeline, here's what you need to follow, because you are training an employee. Like, that's just what it is at the end of the day.
Yep.
And then the last thing you touched on, it's leaving me a little bit, but like one of the last things you really touched on was just talking about the more that you can get people to understand, the more that you can get people to understand how to do things in the system, the more you can relegate your time, because if you're doing something over here, then you're taking time from something over here. And like, I learned that more and more because I have King P Studio, which is me doing hella design work. And then Art in Many Forms. And Art in Many Forms is my baby. I love it because I get to talk to Black women all across the nations, across the world. And like, you know, when I really think about it, I'm like, wow, at the end of this year, I would have paid and talked to 24 women in not even 2 years, but it started last July. I started Art in Many Forms last July. So in all of a year and a half, 24 women, like 24 Black women who all own their own, and like not in one place. Like, you could have never told me this, right? And maybe it's just because I also believe like my imagination and my vision is much bigger than any amount of time or money that I have in my pocket. Like, I am grateful, but I also understand one of these businesses need to have a system so I can actually have people come on so that way I can spend more time doing something over here.
Right.
Whatever that be.
Yeah. It's so important. Just to talk about something you like, even the systematic thing. There's a book here that my friend told me to read. It's called The E-Myth. The E-Myth. And I think E stands for entrepreneur. And it literally blew that whole systematic thing, like knowing what you do. I was like, this is what's missing in my life. Like, literally, how can I bring someone in if I don't even know how I process things, how things work? So for anyone out there that's like, The E-Myth is such a good book. I listened to it on Audible. It was amazing. I've got the physical book as well. Like, highly recommended. Even if you're not even ready to move at that point, it's good to have that knowledge and the know-how, so you're already thinking about like writing down your steps and figuring out how long it takes you to edit something. This is my timeline. Do you know what I mean? All these things that we, as a freelancer, you don't even think, oh, does it take me 10 hours to do a video? Does it take me, how long does it take me to, do I respond to emails? What do I say? What's my system? Things you don't even think about because you just do it automatically. But being able to write those things down and have it like hand to someone or train them, it's going to make your life so much more easy. Oh my God, it's amazing.
And that's like the goal. That's actually, I was just thinking, because my brother came over last night, and again, because it was my third time at this point watching Black is King. And I was like, the really dope thing, because it's not even just her. There's another woman I follow. But using Beyonce as an example of like, she released something before her 38th or 39th birthday. She just dropped a project before her 38th or 39th birthday. And I was like, I wonder if this is almost like a gift to herself, in the sense of like, I finished it before my birthday. And I was thinking about that, because I was like, what is it? Or the other woman I follow, Jackie Aina. So Jackie Aina, for her 33rd birthday, I would say, just dropped a whole entire candle line that sold out. Okay?
I love her. I love her so much. Oh my gosh, but yeah.
I have a Leo moon. I say that's my Leo. That's the Leo.
Yeah.
She's my Leo in right? And so it's just like, it's for me, it's learning, what can you also give yourself from your business besides your paycheck? Because of course you know about paycheck, but like, what else is rewarding? And I think that's what makes us want to keep doing this. Because you're doing it to inspire other people. Like, of course, I'm sure her cuts is to inspire, and
of course,
other women feel joyful about being bald-headed ultimately, and not feeling ashamed when they walk to a barbershop, because it happens often. Okay, I can't walk into a barbershop because God knows He blessed me with hips. And, okay, I have
to think about how I dress before I go to the barbers. 100%. People don't even talk about that. I have to think, and I'm like, oh, I can't wear this, it's a bit too thin, or I can't, like, I have to think about it. It's crazy.
Because you better not walk in with fresh nails, fresh paint, and a tube top dress on. I don't care how dirty your hair is.
Nope.
Every barber would be like, you want to sit in my chair?
Want me in my chair? Yeah.
Thank you to that. Like, but yeah, man, this has been a dope ass conversation. What like, after all the gems you have dropped, okay, what would you like say to especially Black women who want to either start a business or thinking about starting a business?
I would say, it's gonna sound really cheesy, but like, lean into who you are. Like, exactly what you said, like, you've been given gifts, a vision, even maybe if you're not physically like gifted in terms of things that you can do, you've been given a vision and a mind, and you've gone through experiences to allow you to make the world better, like whatever that may be. It might be a doctor for some people it might be like candles, like you said, it might be something, but there's something that you've got to gift to the world. Lean into it. And even if you feel like, one thing my mom said to me, I'll never forget, and she doesn't even remember she told me this, right? But I remember one time, I must have been about 13 or 14, and there was something I wanted to do, and I was really scared, and she was cooking. She didn't even turn her back to me. And this is how you know it was deep. She's cooking. And I was like, oh, Mom, I want to do whatever. And I'm really scared. And she's like, oh, like, why are you scared? And we've spoken for, and she goes, okay, now you've spoken about it, do you feel less scared? I said, no. I said, okay, well, you've got two options. You can either do it and be scared, or not do it and be scared. Either way, you're going to be scared. What do you want to do? Like, literally, the fear's not going nowhere. So are you going to do it or not do it? Because even when you don't do it, you're still feeling scared that you didn't do it. Do you know what I mean? So she was like, literally, and then like years later, that quote of feel the fear and do it anyway, that is literally, I literally live by that. Like, I've got I had a whole YouTube journey of like fearless year and all that stuff where like I was doing things I was afraid of, because I think too often, especially as Black women, we're so low down on like the scale of like life, that whenever anything we're like, oh no, I can't because this, and because I'm seeing this, and like so much fear. And it's not about losing the fear, it's about the fear's here, cool, you're on this journey, but just know I'm still doing what I'm doing. I'm still gonna do it. For the first 4 months of me getting my hair cut, I walked into the barber shop and still felt that kind of like every time I walked in, but did you see it on my face? No, because I know why I'm here. I'm here to get a haircut. I need to get a haircut, and then I go, and then I'm like, ooh, when I walk out, but I'm still gonna do it. It's not gonna stop me from doing what I wanna do. So I feel like, even though you feel the fear, and even though you're like, oh, I'm a bit scared, I'm a bit apprehensive, like, you have to do it. Like, it was given to you for a reason. If you're not copying someone else, like, it's given to you, you was inspired, you was, you know, whatever these things you're having in the middle of the night, you're writing down notes, or like on the train journey or whatever, like, it's given to you for a reason. It may not be like you do it exactly the way you're thinking, but you need to go on that journey. And then just going off that is not to box yourself in. A lot of the time I was like, oh, people know me as this, people know me as that. I can't do this because people know me as a customizer. Like, if you ask people now, they'll be like, Tori, oh, Tori that customize skates. They're like, nah, Tori that films. And someone else is like, nah, man, Tori that, like, they're like, you know me from different plot. Literally, people are just like, I know Tori, she skates. And my friend's like, she don't skate. And I'm like, I do skate. Just like, wait, what? Like, it's literally like, there's so many elements to a human being. Don't ever feel like you have one path, one career, one thing. Like, there's so many elements to us as human beings, especially as Black women. We have so much experience, so much things happen to us. There is, and I'm not saying spread yourself thin, I'm just saying your journey may be like this. You may start here, you may end up going here. That don't feel like you have to like box yourself in. Like, I am known as a photographer, I can only shoot pictures. Like, no, I only shoot weddings. Like, no, like, if you feel it, explore it. You don't have to do all for money. It might just be because you want to do it, but don't box yourself in. Feel the fear and do it anyway, and lean into what it is you have bubbling inside you. Like, Black women are awesome. I think we forget that so often. We are so awesome. Like, my whole team is all Black females. I don't have any males on my team, and I did that for a reason. I went to a shoot, and it was all these photographers, and all the Black women that were there were models, and all the men were photographers and videographers. I was the only female, and there was a little girl, I think a model had brought her daughter, and I just thought, this little girl's view is warped because she's seeing girls getting dolled up and and men directing them. I was like, this girl's view, what do I do? What do I do? I was like, my team needs to be all females. It needs to be all, because I was looking at this girl and I was like, she was sitting in the room because I was shooting outside. So I came in and the room was packed. When I mean packed, and every single female was a model. Every single, like the guys were saying, oh, do this, whatever, no, like put thing on your body. And I was just like, this is nuts. Because she's sitting there just watching. I'm like, her view of the world is warped right now. It can't be that. And I think we forget that we're beautiful. That's amazing. That's great. But that's not necessarily all that we are. There's so much more to us that you can be directors, you can be an engineer, you can be all these things and more. And a model as well if you want to. All these things, like, there's so much more to us. So don't hide from it, man. Black women are awesome.
Yes. Because in the words of Nas, I know I can be what I want to be. And if
Literally,
I'll be where I
want to be.
So, yeah. One last question, okay? This is really for me, but y'all have it too. So, for those of us who want to get into their own filmmaking stuff and doing workshops, what camera do you recommend for someone at the beginning to buy?
I recommend whatever camera you have. That's the realest.
I love this answer.
Whatever camera you have, use that. It's a camera, use it. Then when you want to progress, buy the next thing up. Use the camera what you have. Listen, our phones are 24 megapixel, bro. Slow motion, like what? The phone you have is more than enough to do what you want to do. I've got friends that have shot music videos on their phone, and people are like, oh my days, what did you use? I use a Samsung. That's what I use. I'm telling you, the whatever camera you have right now and good lighting, that's all you need. You don't need, I'm telling you, that and good lighting, that's all you need. You're fine.
Oh, I got the lighting. Oh, okay.
I'm telling you, you can do so much.
I so love it because, that just made my heart fully smile. Because so many people be like, no, you should buy a Sony A600. No, you should buy the Canon Mark D5, 2, whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing that nobody tells you is just like rugs, cameras are expensive for no reason. Like, oh my gosh. I was looking at a camera that is $1,800 and that's just the body.
Yeah, that's just the body. Yeah.
And I was like, and then my homeboy was like, yeah, lenses are a whole nother ballgame. And I'm like, The crazy thing is years ago, I bought a Canon SL1, which is it's the smaller version of the T3i.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For the people with smaller hands. And I have barely used it. But then recently I was like, I don't need a 2-camera setup. And also, if I really need a 2-camera setup, I'll just use this.
I'm telling you.
But I'm like, yeah, I hope
You know, people say to me like, "Oh my God, Tori, what did you film your behind the scenes on?" My phone. They're like, "What?" And I'm like, "My phone." They're like, and I'm like, "It's on my phone, bruv. You've got it. What you have in your hand every day, what you carry with you, is camera enough."
But
yeah.
You gotta edit. See, that's what that is. You are the definition of it. Ain't about the camera. It's about the production.
100%. 100%.
You start doing editing, let me know. I'm gonna be one of your first clients.
You know what's so crazy? Like, I really wanna like edit other people's stuff, but I'm like, oh, what if they send me something? And I'm like, I can't do anything with that. That's like one of my fears, I think. But I do love to edit. I love the whole like, I love it. If I can do what I want to do, then I love it. If I want to do what I want to do.
If I send you any footage, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Just add the logo is all I ask, and credit yourself at the end. That's all I ask.
Yeah, I'm done.
Timeline. I already know you. When I tell you a day, you go, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
And this is why Black women are dope.
I'm telling you, when Black women come together, it's always magic. I don't care. If you've got the right mindset, it's always magic. It's always magic. It's amazing. And I love it. I
do too. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Appreciate you too. Thank you for having me on, inviting me in. Like, I'm so like,
yay. Thank you for saying yes. Okay. I love people. Because the worst thing people can tell you is no or not respond. And
right.
I mean, even then, I just keep it pushing and I move on to the next.
Keep it moving.
So thank you. You have been amazing. Y'all, please make sure you follow Tori Lens. Okay, I'll put it all in the description. Also to Haircuts UK. Is it Haircuts UK or is it just Haircuts?
It's Haircuts UK on Instagram, but everywhere else is Haircuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll drop all of that down below. Also want to give a special shout out because I want to make sure I don't forget this. To thank the sponsors, which is the Knight Foundation, Youthprise, and King P Studio. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's my boss too. Okay. Thank you to everyone. Thank you. Y'all have been dope. Y'all have been great. Make sure you tune in to the next keynote and talk soon. Yes.
Bye.